right before the deadline. Snuck it in by the bell, saved by the bell. The Chiefs locked up one of their most important pieces in the trenches, and that is our guy Trey Smith. Signed a massive 4-year deal, $94 million extension, $70 million guaranteed, making him the highest guard in NFL history. So, JD, let's kind of just break this down. What does Trey Smith mean to this offensive line? And is he worth this price tag? Because right now I'm seeing so many Chiefs fans who are kind of pissed off about him getting signed for this deal. And just overall, you were on a team that had continuity on the offensive line for a good amount of years. Just talk about having that continuity on the offensive line between Creed and Trey Smith and how valuable that is for Patrick Mahomes.
They signed Trey Smith?
You've been on vacation. You missed it altogether.
What? Oh, they got it done. Nah, I'm just playing. Mess with y'all. You know I do. What does this mean? Listen, congratulations to Trey getting his contract. The man's been playing his tail off. He's watched everybody around him get paid. And so for him to go and set the market the way that he just did, and the Chiefs reward him for the hard work and effort he's put in protecting Patrick, it serves us well. We know that at least for us as an offensive line or offensive unit, this solidifies the, at least Trey being a part of the system, continuity of players around that. And so that is something that not just me, but we have been looking for, right? We just lost Joe Tooney. We've seen that. This past year, O-line struggled a little bit. We've seen that Super Bowl. And so what we did is we started shoring up, getting guys in, new guys. And one of the things that we did is we went and got Jalen Moore. We got a first-round pick in Josh Simmons. But one thing that we needed to do is we needed to take care of the guys. We needed to take care of the guys that were here, that was already in the building. And Trey Smith was one of them. And so when you got a guy like this, for the price that you said, like Rich Cooper, we got about Chief 4 years with him, then you did a masterful job. Trey Smith, like one of those guys with Creed Humphrey beside him, you needed to have somebody that you knew was going to be an enforcer for him. So that's yeah, man. No, it works for us. Absolutely works for us. So
I'm seeing a comment here. This is kind of what I wanted to get at, JD. It's this kind of comments from a lot of people on Twitter. I saw this one guy who was upset at me being happy about the Trey Smith signing online. It was like, what was his pass blocking grades? It wasn't good. He's not a good pass blocker. And then I'm seeing stuff like this. Pepe Trey is needing close to the best guard. I'm sorry, but no. What are your thoughts on it? Because I'm seeing a lot of people saying no one should be paying a guard the money that he's getting paid. What are your thoughts on
that? Here's my thoughts on that. Real talk. Okay. True, straight from the heart. Okay. It was a hefty price tag to sign Trey Smith for this deal. Okay. He's the highest paid guard set the market. That's what they did. The Chiefs felt like you do it now, get it invested, so you don't have to wait till later or after the season where it might cost more and Trey might have to walk. They didn't want to see him hit the market. Trey had some issues last year, but it wasn't just Trey alone. This was, I think, the entire offensive line. I think they'll tell you that too. There's no question about it. And so we evaluated this. Every time I give a grade out, Marcus, we grade the show. We grade every game. Okay, we've been doing that ever since we got on the show. And so there was times that Trey played well, and there's some times that he didn't show at least to be the top guy. But I think for the Chiefs, they took a chance and invested in Trey Smith because why? Because Trey is a hard worker. Trey is a guy that doesn't force. Trey is a guy that's been somebody that gives you continuity on the offensive line. I think they had him rated like the 15th best guard in the league. I think it's what he had. His pass blocking was down at like, I forget what it was, like 65 or something. It's not the top. It wasn't the top. But I think it's something that he can get better. He can grow at, right? Joe Tooney, the guy that we did get rid of, was one of the top guards in the league. We know that, okay? But Joe Tooney was a lot older than Trey Smith. So what they invested in was not a guy that is just not getting better, but also too, he's a younger guard. And they thought, like, listen, instead of us sitting over here trying to look for a guy to replace Trey or something like that, let's go ahead and sign Trey right now. Let's go ahead and make this money. This money is going to go long for us. So we need to go ahead and get this thing done, right? So we're sitting over here thinking about who we're going to have at left guard. That's been one of the things everybody talks about on the show. And so we're still trying to figure those things out. We think it's going to be King Suma. So the thing is, if Trey leaves, okay, we didn't sign him, who do we have at right guard? Who's going to be that guy? So I'm telling you, they look at all the things in the room. They look at, in the league for the things that they have. And so for me, I'm sitting over saying that we need to understand that the Chiefs are doing the most practical thing, but also to what they're doing, they're making sure that Patrick Mahomes is going to be protected with guys that he knows, okay, that know the entire system. So that's the deal.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like we talked about this, right? We didn't know how much they were going to pay him, but once they got rid of Joe Tooney, we knew, okay, that means they are going to pay Trey Smith. I don't know when it's going to be, whether it's going to be this year or they're going to wait until next year. But like you can't get rid of two of your starting guards when you're trying when your whole focus is to upgrade the line. So by keeping Trey, you have the camaraderie, you have the continuity between him and Creed Humphrey. So you have those two kind of stalwarts on the right, on the center right spot. And now you just got you hope that John pans out. So that's kind of where where the head's at right now with it. But yeah, and to your point about Trey Smith, he was a 65.7 pass block according to PFF last year, 65.7, and he was 19th.
65.7, which
he was 19th overall. His overall grade.
So that look, and you know how we are. PFF is one of those things that guys, how they measure and how they grade for guys to be whatever they are, right? And I think they do a pretty decent job of it. They look at all the different parameters that they do at it. But my eyes myself, and we talked about this on the show on some of the things and issues that he had. Okay. So, hey man, we got him here. The Chiefs made that investment. They made an investment. So there's nothing we could do about it. So people would be upset and maybe not think this. The Chiefs thought it was an important deal to get this thing done, right? So we can have our opinion about anything, whatever we want to do. But hey, it's the Chiefs' money. They like what Trey gives, and I think I agree with him. He's a great guy. He's a great guard, and they felt like it was necessary to get him here. So my thing is this: there's more to just that. He gives a lot to the room as well, and so that's kind of where we are, man. It's kind of where we are. I'll apologize for the signal. I know everybody's texting me like, my family, like, hey man, we got bad signal. So I apologize. I see you kind of going in and out, man. So
you're good, man. You're good. We can hear you clearly. We can hear you clearly.
Okay. All right, good. So, but that's it. I think that's really, Marcus. When you look at these things, that's how you have to look at it. That's how teams are looking at it, right? Who do you have to fill that position? Are they going to be just as good as Trey Smith or better? They felt like nobody was in the building that was doing that. They didn't feel like they needed to go out somewhere and search for somebody. For whatever reason, they made this decision. They made it. So, what? And I'll say this. So here's the reality too. And teams and fans, they do have a demand. They demand when a guy gets paid this type of money, they want to see the production of that money come to fruition. They want to make sure that he's worth that money, right? And so there's nothing wrong to say, hey man, Patrick Mahomes should be able to go back there, man, and order burgers and fries, and nobody should lay a hand on it. That's what we want to be able to see for that much, right? That's how it works. And so when somebody gets paid that type of money, you want to see the results of it. And Trey understands that fully. He understands it fully. So that's what I think about it, man. There's no doubt about it, brother. He's going to put in the work and the effort to get there, and he's just going to continue to get better. But yeah, hey man, guys are getting paid like that. Whether it was, Joe Tooney, who we had at left tackle, Creed Humphrey got paid. Trey is there now. He just got his check. And so we looking at Jawan Taylor also too. You expect with that type of money investment in there, Patrick, his jersey should be absolutely clean as a whistle, right? It shouldn't have a mark on it, not one. That's what's expected of it. So that's what I'm gonna say with that, man. So, but look, man, congratulations for Trey for getting that. Congratulations to it. Good for him.
Again, it's not our money, so I'm happy the players, especially a guy who's playing a 6-round contract. I mean, what was it, 4 years? I think he made with $6 million over 4 years or something like that for a 6-round contract. Really happy that he finally got paid his due because he was playing way above that 6-round grade. And also read too from some of the salary cap experts, from over the cap guys, they said they think that Trey Smith actually left a lot of money on the table. He thinks that he could have probably hit them over the head even more so in order to not sign the deal and just wait until next offseason and then sign a blank check somewhere else, like a Carolina type team. So, he's kind of taken, if that is true, he's kind of taking the Travis Kelce route and the Patrick Mahomes route where, I could hit this team over the head, but you know what? I want to stay in this organization, so I'm going to take a friendlier deal than I could have gotten. So he's still getting paid a lot of money, but nonetheless, he could have gotten paid more. So we'll take that. And, of course, he's young, too. So some of these guys who are ahead of him on those rankings, those are guys who've been around a lot longer than him. He's still a young buck in as far as NFL years. So he's got a chance to continue to grow and be an elite pass blocking guard. He's one of the elite run blocking guards. And I know we don't run the ball enough, but again, maybe that's something they want to commit to a little bit more this year by keeping him
around. Hey, that's fair point. Fair point. We understand that he's a road grader. He is an absolute road grader. Justin Blackwell says, and I think I made this point, but let's emphasize this. He means more also too for the type of person he is that he brings in, what he means to the community. And we've seen the things he's been able to do. Justin said how everyone forgetting when Trey comforted a kid during the parade. I don't think nobody forgot. Giving him the belt to calm him down, that was at least $20 million bet. That's a good-hearted man. I would expect good-hearted men to do that anyway, right? And so it's hard to put a price tag on that, but I feel where you're coming from. That is character. That is what character is, right? And so sometimes you do invest in that, Marcus. You really do. Good character guys. You need those things, especially on the Chiefs. The Chiefs expect that. It is about community. It's about family. It is about what you show to everybody else. That's the depth of it. That's the depth. So,
yeah, and keeping good character guys, that's a big part of everything. They kept Bolton around this past offseason. Now you're keeping Trey Smith.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.